and welcome into Full Screen Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Aster, and joining me today, having a real hard time picking her favorite rodent man among the many, many, many choices. It's Raven Ebert. How are you, Raven?
I'm good. I think it's going to be Mike Fist from Challengers because he can sing too. And I really enjoyed his performance in West Side Story, which it's very disappointing to hear that a lot of people haven't seen, but like check it out. It's actually a really good movie. It's like a really well-made musical.
Okay, but why not Josh O'Connor, who literally is in conversation for the live-action remake of Ratatouille?
I don't think Pixar will allow a live-action remake. I think it's just Disney. And second, Death to Britannia is all I have to say.
Rodent men, you know, they're here to stay. For those who don't know, there was a New York Times style article which went viral. It was called "Who is a Rodent Man?" and it's just highlighting a meme that on Twitter that they took.
It's called being a character actor where you don't look like an Abercrombie and Fitch model from the mid 2000s, so they just label you a rodent man. It's very insulting because
Awful.
And New York Times, don't just go to Twitter for your journalism. This is how we ended up with the worst Chris discourse, which was really bad for like everyone.
Journalism found dead in a ditch. It's like one of those articles that you find on, my thing is you find this kind of piece on The Cut, which is funny, on Vulture, which is funny, but then you see on The Times, and these people have just made it in the industry, and their parents read this and they're like, man, my son is a rat.
Which is wonderful if they look like their parents, but it's also, and pardon me for the ageism, but again, The Cut and Vulture definitely hire people in their 20s, and New York Times gives the vibe of being written by a 45-year-old, even if it's not written by a 45-year-old.
100%. So listen, better than the piece on The Times, we should be writing this article on The Cut right now. The Cut, Vulture, reach out to us. We're gonna do it justice. All right, before we get to today's topic, let's tell the people how they can reach out to us to tell us their favorite rodent man.
I mean, I think we can all agree that it's actually Remy from Ratatouille. Like, a rat that can cook with the voice and sense of humor of Patton Oswalt. That's just like, gimme. But you can reach out to us with your Ratman soliloquies. Do not find a woman equivalent of this. I repeat, if you do so, I will block you on Twitter, which is at @fullscreen_pod.
Cancelled.
And Instagram, also at @fullscreen_pod. Or on our YouTube channel, Full Screen Podcast, where we upload our episodes, which you can check out as well. Like, subscribe, and game the algorithm to boost us, or reach out to us via email at fullyscreened@gmail.com. Yeah, if you want to do this bullshit, go back to a 2003 archive of Perez Hilton and body shame women there.
Oh, God.
For now, we are just going to continue with rat boyfriend as another word for character actor.
Capable, competent.
Yeah, very competent. I think everybody who is not Cillian Murphy on Peaky Blinders is also a contender for rat boyfriend. There's, people who've got that look. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right. Hard pivot to today's topic. Freemium. Parte 2. Okay, free streaming services, they're the future. Haven't you heard? So much talk about freemium has been happening. There's been articles, Hollywood Reporter just came out with why fast services are no longer the bargain bin of streaming. TechCrunch, our world on the tech side, freemium isn't a trend, it's the future of SaaS. It's the trend right now, and we're calling this episode part 2 because we've done a smattering of these. We've covered Roku Channel in depth during the Weird Al Yankovic Story movie release. We've circled around a bunch of the services. We've driven past a little bit Pluto TV and Plex in other episodes. We've mentioned Tubi quite a bit.
My girl Tubi! I love Tubi!
we routinely mention how the big players in the space are going the AVOD route, the advertising-based route, inspired by these services to stay competitive with these services. So we're going to focus today on the big three: Pluto TV, Tubi, our girl Tubi, and IMDb TV, aka Freevee. Business model, tech, decision-making, history, the future. Let's discuss it all, baby.
All right, so let's do the bare minimum to feign some enthusiasm for the hasty reorganization and unmitigated chaos of new financial goals for the all hands. The Federal Reserve is saying you don't get lower interest rates. People think that we're in a recession even when we're not, because inflation is out of control. And with that, the cost of streaming is also rising. So broke boys and hot girls and sexy NBs want to know, what can I get away with for free? What can I do for entertainment that doesn't cost me $20 for a ticket and another $20 for concessions? Or you're paying close to $20 a month for maybe 2 to 3 hours of entertainment anyway. So let's talk about some of the free options. I think we've already covered Roku in a lot of depth, so please go check that episode out for more details. But Roku is the big boy in the house. You know, they're the market leader in terms of the freemium streaming services. So I'll instead talk about two that have been catching up and been doing pretty well. Amazon Freevee. Previously, it was called IMDb TV. It was launched in 2019. So not 2017, which is unusual because that was like when every streaming service wanted to launch.
How many names do you think they had before they landed on Freevee?
Well, it started as Amazon. It didn't start at Amazon. Sorry, it started as IMDb Free Dive. And then it rebranded in 2022 to Amazon Freevee. Again, I think it was because of all these acquisitions and vertical integrations that were going off in
Free Dive.
Bezos.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds a little too sensual for a streaming service. It's
Yeah.
like dive into free content. It's like,
I mean,
lose yourself in the caress of a Dove chocolate. Like, okay, calm down.
Is there like softcore content? You know what I mean? You know
Well,
what I mean?
no, because it's Amazon.
Showtime late night? Okay.
No, they did not do a Showtime integration. So they serve the US, UK, Germany, and Austria. And they do the ad-supported video on demand. So it can be accessed as a standalone app by users who don't have Amazon Prime subscriptions. But if you have Amazon Prime, it's part of what you're accessing through your Prime Video. So you can see a mix of live channels, on-demand classic TV shows and movies, and some original content. And the licensed movies kind of cycle in and out of the service as they do with every streaming service that's out there when it's not original content. With Freevee, certain things are also available from Amazon Prime, so you don't have to have a Prime account to be able to access it. So some of it you can see, Jury Duty, I think, was exclusively made for Freevee. But you can also watch the show Modern Love that was made for Amazon Prime, and a sequel to the Bosch series. I've never watched Bosch because I'm not a middle-aged white dad. Yeah, I don't get it, but I respect the demographics. Shout out to you guys.
They got the money, you know?
Yeah, spend time doing house repairs with your lesbian daughters is all I have to say. And so it's doing fairly well, but I think the one that's really nipping on the heels of Roku is Tubi. It was founded by Farhad Masoudi and Thomas An Hicks in the beautiful city of San Francisco, California. Launched in 2014, and it was sold to the Fox Corporation in 2020. So I think it's fair to say that ultimately the profits flow back up to Disney, but It's reached 74 million active users every month by September 2023. Those are really, really good numbers. And the areas that it serves are obviously the United States, but Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, and Panama. So it has a slightly different reach from Freevee. So I don't see a permeation in Europe yet, but it's got the North and South America regions. So
yeah,
their programming is like 40,000 films. 250 different providers or more are providing their television series licensed to Tubi. And the latest tech news or the latest information from a tech integration for Tubi is that it's using an AI-powered search tool called Rabbit AI. It's found on the Tubi mobile app. It lets you basically enter more than the simple keyword searches and instead ask questions like you would for our friend ChatGPT. So can you recommend movies, or can you tell me, or what's a good movie for a first date? And it's supposed to give you
in-house
answers
technology, Rabbit.
Yeah, it is proprietary to Tubi.
Very cool. Very cool.
I had to put myself on mute because I did a big old sneeze. Sorry about that.
Bless you. I missed that.
But I think my favorite part of Tubi was every time I heard original content coming out from Tubi, because just the names, because I heard about Big Mood, which of course stars Nicola Coughlan, and I was so excited about that because I love seeing her in her natural Irish accent, the Bridgerton British
and
accent
when she
at
slips
some point.
into it, you know?
Oh yeah. No, I told you like where it she said column instead of column. I loved that so much. I literally paused and I was just like, yay. Okay, so let me read you some of the original films that Tubi has done, just to give you like a sense of the variety and diversity. All right. So you have Romeo and Juliet Killers from 2022. The Deadliest Lie from 2021.
Okay.
Time Pirates from
Okay,
2022.
This one I'm in. This is the trash that I love.
Yeah. Mistletoe Time Machine 2022. Girls Getaway Gone Wrong and Girls Getaway Gone Wrong Part 2. Terror Train and Terror Train 2.
Okay.
Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Okay. And
Blood,
the
Sweat,
title
and
is Fuck.
Cheer. Yeah, well, it's F with Aster.
Yeah.
So, Murder at the Murder Mystery Party.
Murder.
Killer Coworker. Pasta Calypse. It's supposed to be Pasta Apocalypse, but it should be Pasta Apocalypse. But it's just Pasta Calypse, and I'm like, okay. Deadly Secrets of a Cam Girl. She Came from the Woods. Twisted
She Came
How
would have been great. You know what I mean? Just stop there.
It follows She Came, but She Came from the Woods. God Forgives. I Don't. How to Frame a Family. I Hate You to Death. Black Mold. It's called Black Mold.
Listen, that's a killer, you know?
It is a
killer.
It's a horror thriller movie, so I hope it is about sentient black mold. Like, that would be amazing. My husband's baby. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Okay.
All original movies. Clickbait, Unfollowed. So I think it's fair to say that
colon is doing a lot of work there.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety in original programming for Tubi. I think what has stood out to me as you recited these poetic titles is that people are paying attention, the content creators and whoever greenlights the content over at Tubi, they're paying attention to the trends.
They're paying attention to the buzzwords. They're paying attention to what is resonating with the crowd. Like horror is big, Hitman-related content, and very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to see the Steven Soderbergh movie Side Effects. It has Rooney Mara, Jude Law, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Channing Tatum. I enjoy Steven Soderbergh, so I was like, oh, it's on Tubi. So I went to Tubi and I typed in Side, to look up that movie. I got Side Effects. I also got My Side Piece for Fans Only. My Side Piece. My Side Piece hit the lotto. The Real Side Chicks of Charlotte. So there's a variety of content on Tubi.
A cornucopia.
They basically, I think, crossed like a threshold in pop culture because they had a Super Bowl ad this year, right?
Okay, so obviously we were aware of Tubi before, but that Super Bowl ad really changed people's perception of what Tubi is. So during the Super Bowl, there was an ad that sort of very clever, really loved it, that took a chance, could have annoyed people, but it didn't. It kind of like mirrored the, when you're selecting content on your streaming apps, it sort of popped up from the bottom, like a bottom riser, and then the ad was just like someone scrolling through the content tiles and selecting something, and then the Super Bowl sort of screen went away as they fired. I think it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith is the content they selected, and that fired up. But the Tubi logo showed up. Very creative, kind of stood out that night,
and very smart because Amazon released Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so they knew how to get SEO. Very smart.
They just very smart. And the other thing I wanted to mention as well, they're also Teleparty integrated now because they're advertising it all over as you go on the various pages on Tubi.com. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching My Side Piece hit the lotto without you.
Yeah, obviously. So we've recapped Freevee a little bit, and we've talked about Tubi, our girl Tubi. And let's do the last one that I wanted to talk about, which is Pluto TV. So co-founded by Tom Ryan, Ilya Posin, and Nick Groff in 2013. Acquired by Viacom CBS pretty much immediately as the pandemic hit. Viacom CBS is Paramount Global, guys. And Pluto licenses content. As far as I know, no original content. They're very comfortable with licensing content, providing more than 250 channels and 100,000 unique hours worth of programming. That's a lot. Netflix wishes.
Remember, this is for no money, and you can watch the same quality of stuff. Like, you will find things as good as Love is Blind on Pluto TV.
Yeah.
Actually, better, because I remember watching, like, Golden Girls and Murder, She Wrote. And Murder, She Wrote is fucking awesome. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. We do our research, obviously, before we record our pods. And I'm doing my research, taking copious notes, and I'm like, this is good. Freemium is good. What are we doing? Paying like $30 now for HBO and Netflix together? Which I'm not, obviously. I canceled them, Get rid of toxicity 2024.
Zaslav is not getting my money.
It's more for Pluto TV. As of April 2023, Pluto TV has no plans to commission original content, but it does have some channels that feature curated content. That was my favorite part. There's like curated content and like featured channels that they like to promote with like nice little logos and really nice UI treatments as you hover over them. Pluto TV Spotlight, Pluto TV Crime Movies, Pluto TV Staff Picks. The staff picks are very good, actually. Available in US, UK, Latin America, most of Europe, so we can confidently say Eastern Europe. Not available.
Damn, that Iron Curtain's still holding up, my god.
And Australia. It's available in Australia. And the channels, the individual channels were super exciting, both on Tubi and Pluto. But for Pluto, there's like Pluto 2000s Replay. There was an equivalent For each one of these channels, by the way, there's an equivalent on Tubi. So the 2000s replay has like a 2000s highlight channel on Tubi, which was interesting. You know, someone's doing their homework on both sides. Pluto Horror, Pluto Pranks, my favorite, Slightly Off IFC. All with funky and endearing logos. The channel is called Slightly Off IFC.
I feel like this is Portlandia, the brand, right? Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And just like Tubi, they're advertising on every page that you go. I'm primarily talking about the web experience here. Teleparty integration is being advertised everywhere, so it's you know, a new feature that customers love on every service. We can attest to that. Anecdotally, it's a very famous feature, very popular feature, very used feature, so they're definitely advertising it. Now, Pluto having no original content leans heavily into the live TV aspect, right? And that is a good segue into, I wanted to quickly, Raven, talk about sort of from my research, the UI sort of experience, user interface, user experience of these three services. Primarily, I'm gonna focus on Tubi and Pluto, because Freebie is just, you know, you're buying your toilet paper and you see, there's a content.
I think it's very integrated into Amazon Prime, so I see your point. Yeah. So Freebie is just... Yeah, I mean, unless you're on the app, which app is very standard. I haven't played around with the app lately, but I just remember when I was watching Jury Duty, just very standard on Amazon, my Amazon TV. Video player didn't stand out. The content tiles didn't stand out. It just reminded me of maybe like Netflix 5 years ago. Really big content tiles because they don't have much content on Freebie that they want to advertise. Okay, Tubi. Very attractive user interface. Loved it. Strong branding. Very strong branding.
Actually,
they got the color scheme down.
This is so interesting that you mentioned the branding, because there's been so much written about the colors and the branding and the logo and how they're advertising, their advertising strategy. I actually read a piece on creativereview.co.uk. So they're, you know, an agency sort of looks at the advertising of big companies, and they did like a great piece, which we'll probably link, and they're highlighting different aspects of Tubi's print advertisements as well as their video ads and their logos. And tagline of Tubi is Tubi keeps playing, and they're analyzing every little thing of Tubi keeps playing, and they're highlighting the yellows and purples, how everything contains.
I hate when letters touch, so I'm really happy that the style guide is like, letters don't touch. I fucking hate kerning.
Gorgeous. So. Absolutely gorgeous.
Somebody who's a design snob without really being qualified to be one. Yeah, their style guide and visual design guide is very clear in terms of branding.
You see that purple? Actually, you see that deep purple transitioning to a little bit of yellow, transitioning to the light purple. Yeah. If you didn't give me the logo, I wouldn't know that that's Tubi. You know what I mean? They've established themselves.
There is something that's very like, okay, they use like color theory of red plus blue equals purple. So the other text has to be yellow. So there is a lot of thought put into the branding, and it also stands out from the other apps. I think red is Netflix. My God, they've claimed it. Green, I think it's safe to say, is Hulu.
Yeah.
The blue is again Disney.
HBO. HBO is
Max is kind of purple. So what they were like, what can we do? So Max is like purple and white. We are gonna be purple and yellow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very, very clear branding. The couple highlights I wanted to make from my experience playing around with Tubi. Navigation is really striking, really clear, really crisp, really masterful. The master navigation, which I don't find often. I think I find myself, with streaming services, I always find myself getting lost a little bit. Like, I know where it's going to lead me, but it's also like, where am I find myself going to search more often than navigating, you know what I mean, because I don't know where to go. Didn't find that to be the case with Tubi. I thought that was really well organized. Emphasizes the on-demand selection more with its patterns and content tile organization. So it has live TV, of course, and it also has on-demand, what I really loved is that we're used to seeing the pattern of when you navigate to the homepage of a streaming service, you see the tiles sort of moving right on the top, advertising the latest content. For Tubi, the tiles themselves, yes, were clickable, but what they were emphasizing more than the pictures that were coming up, these like beautiful images from the shows and movies, was the actual informational tile underneath, which was like, this is episode 1 of this show that came out in 2016. This is rated PG-13. This is rated R. So every information that you might need to make an informed decision is taken into calculus. They're not putting that one click away. Like, you click on this show to find out more. No, you know it now and you go in informed. You know what I mean? I thought that was so powerful. You're not here for like empty clicks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're not burying it under additional interactions. Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to highlight was the live TV. By the way, as I was scrolling down when I went to the live TV section, the video player itself, you know, we've seen this sort of experience in other places. I thought it was endearing and lovely that the video player sort of like gently jumps a little bit, you know, mid-screen, then below the screen as you're scrolling down the live experience and seeing the channels and seeing the curated selections. So the video player obviously shows you the live TV, whatever's playing in the selected.
See, that's a brand new interaction, right? Because what other streaming service really integrates live TV watching like that? Maybe Hulu and Disney Plus, but even then their focus is the on-demand quote-unquote content. Like, it's not live TV that's focused on. So this is something that they've had to do on their own.
I thought it was absolutely lovely.
It doesn't look cheap.
It does not. That's the thing.
That.
It does not look cheap. That purple and yellow combo could easily look cheap.
It could look like the label for like a cheap soda at the gas station, and it doesn't.
In the live TV section, the curated selections as you scroll down, recommended, on now, gangster films, 2010s comedy. They know their audience.
Avoid 2010s comedy like the fucking plague. Oh my god.
It's the literal topic of hacks this season. Search itself, very good, very responsive. It's incredibly easy to find best movies on TV with relative ease. As I was it's one of those searches like real time, so you're typing like half of a word and it's coming up. The collections are on the top as in the live TV section, so NFL, Drag Race Universe, Film Rise, Evil Killers. And as you click, so this is like top down, right? Imagine it to be top down. When we do a video, Raven will attach, obviously, the screens that we're talking about. I know it's hard in audio format.
I'm just excited that people can see the possibilities of NFL and Drag Race Universe and understand that one of them is a stringent competitive sport that takes everything you have from mind, body, and soul, and the other is football.
Yeah, there you go. It's true. So it's like a top-down navigation, and as you click on these collections, the channels under these collections open up. So what I mean by open up is like the channels sort of, there's like a gentle scroll, because like it's obviously showing you like a TV guide type experience for the channels, but when you select the sections, it scrolls down or up, just leading you to that collection.
Oh yeah, they're using the cascading style sheets, mama. They are
beautiful.
the front end engineering is working hard, and we appreciate that.
It's just so much thought in the experience, so much thought in every little detail. I loved when you're watching content, like navigating back to where you were is also really easy. So like the pattern of navigation is just gorgeous. Let me quickly transition to Pluto. I know we're running long. Tubi is our girl, you know, love you Tubi, we love you, but Pluto might be my favorite here? Question mark. The black and yellow.
I don't know. I can't see my side piece won the lotto on fucking Pluto. That's what I'm saying.
So, Pluto differentiates itself with the yellow logo of Pluto, and its color scheme is yellow and black. No purple this time. So again, doesn't have much. It doesn't have original content, right? So it's much more. It's very minimalistic, very bare bones, I would say, but beautiful and meaningful and impactful nonetheless. So it tries to drive the live TV experience much more than Tubi, leans into the traditional. So this is the differentiator, the two things that stood out to me. This feels more like and I mean this as a compliment because they do it well. It's kind of like navigating the old school sort of TV guide experience where the live TV is sort of the video player itself is 90% of the screen, and as you're navigating the live TV selections, this TV guide.
So the interface is split into the video and the navigation, which is unique because you can't navigate in any other streaming site while watching content. You have to exit out of it and navigate. Yeah.
They could have done the like navigation is our bread and butter. We want people to recirculate around our site, see as much content.
No, that's the frustration, right? That's the frustration of using these streaming sites.
Yeah,
because you're always navigating for content.
That was really thoughtful that they're actually like, hey, you were here to see we're not going to push more content until you're not ready. Master Nav contains only 3 options, so on-demand, live, TV, and search. And they also have collections very similar to the collections on Tubi, just named differently. So they have Black Collective, True Crime, Reality, and the tree so as you select these collections, what is a little bit different in the UI compared to Tubi. In Tubi, it was nested, it was like top down, it was nested under as you select from the top. In Pluto, it's all left to right, so sort of like mirroring the English language as your eye goes from left to right. So you select the collection on left, the channels scroll to match the collection automatically.
It sounds a lot like TiVo.
See, it is old school.
Like TiVo.
They were like, they heard the people. Like, people were like, "Hey, we kind of want to go back to the simplicity of things."
They were bringing back Y2K fashion. It was like bearing midriffs and butterfly clips, and they were like, "All right, we're bringing back TiVo navigation as well."
TiVo was great. I'll die on this hill.
Yeah.
Automatic. So what I loved about these two services as well is like the treatment of the UI and the channel selections and the collection selections was really wonderful. Really kept me playing because the logo, the color changes as well of these, and they're all unique. None of them matches each other. So like the black collection is different from like Drag Race universe, right? And as you select them, there's like a little bit of a surprise and delight sort of experience as you select them. So, and then last thing I want to mention is Reddit fans of Freemium. There's so many, guys, so many. And I love to do anecdotal research.
Reddit usually doesn't like stuff, so it's kind of important to note when Reddit likes stuff.
When they do like stuff. Big fans of Tubi and Pluto TV there, and Pluto specifically incites a lot of love in terms of like, hey, if they ever get out of the content business, let them sell their UI to Netflix and Disney because they know what they're doing. So yeah, you got a little user research from me today as well. That is all I had for you.
Back to the weather.
Welcome to the missed objectives and key results. Welcome to the MONKRs, as I like to say, mockers. It's our new branding. We're gathered here today to witness big streaming take an L after L After L, baby.
Yeah, in your flop era.
Flop era.
You're in your flop era, sweetie. Ted. No, people would not have gone to see Barbie the way they did if it was released in Netflix. People had a good time dressing up for Barbie.
I'd love to say that to David Zaslav. You're in your flop era, sweetie. So let's talk about, should you check out the free options? Yes! And that's the end.
I mean, short answer, yes. Thank you, good night, tip your waitress.
It's just, normally I try to be objective, and we're doing our, obviously we'll mention anything that comes up about these services that they're dirty laundry, but from what I've seen as of 2024, as of June 2024, these services are good value. They offer good content, as Raven talked about Tubi's. What was the side piece content?
There was a lot of side piece content. You have to be specific. What you what you lose from having quote unquote free is, of course, you have to get ads. But what do you think about how that is surfaced? Like, does that take away from the overall experience? Because there's so many streaming services that are already running ads. Like, what's the point,
Yeah. So here's the thing. I didn't notice that to be taking away from the content that I was watching, because I feel like all the services, all the big players, Netflix, Disney, Amazon Amazon just like opted me into the ads, right, with my normal Prime membership just one day, and I never changed it. Good luck trying to get me to change it to no ads. So like, what's the difference between Freevee and like a normal Prime Video?
Right. Or what's the difference between paying for Netflix with ad tiers? It's like, okay, you're getting access to the content, but you're getting it with ads.
I know that they really have to become profitable, and ads are the way to do it, but it's really, they've really lost something that they tried to disrupt, and these services came to light because they solved something that was disruptive to the user experience. They were like, no ads, continuous watching, incredible content, you know what I mean? We'll keep you focused. And all of that is lost. All of that is diluted. So we're moving backwards a little bit to the era of cable. In our last few episodes, especially last one, the bundles, we talked about we're reverting back to cable a little bit with the bundles, with the ad tier, with the password crackdown.
2000s nostalgia has gone back too far. Too far.
Look, okay, the other day I saw a girl in low-rise jeans, and I was like, no. This is where I draw the line. Gen Z, you haven't seen the horrors of this.
The ad thing, again, is not as obtrusive because people are seeing ads on paid streaming services anyway.
Yeah.
Because the ad-free version is maybe out of their budget, or, something that they're not willing to pay for.
Well, isn't the metric that most people are signing up for ads, and that is more profitable to these services because they're getting money from their third party, the advertising.
Well, that's where most of their users are, but it's obviously not as profitable as if someone were signing up for the no ad version. So clearly my takeaway from that data is that ads are not a problem for users anymore. So if you can get something for free with ads or $7 a month with ads, I'll just go for free because I'm getting ads either way.
Yeah, and plus Tubi and Pluto are advertising themselves as like, we have more content. So here's the equalizer. Everyone has ads now. Every service has ads. So what is the differentiating factor between all these services? So it really comes down to, all right, cost. With ads, Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Amazon, they're still charging you.
It has these freemium services, they have a rotating library. So maybe you're watching something that you can't watch next month. That happens on every streaming service, unless it's an original, right? So you lose from that. But I think that the way streaming has damaged the creation of entertainment is palpable from the way that the terms of the writer's strike and actors strike to some extent, but the writer's strike really emphasized on how little there was an investment in terms of writing for these shows. Because people like me grew up with 25 episodes of Dawson's Creek per season.
Yeah.
Right? We grew up with fucking 15 seasons of Supernatural. I didn't grow up with that, but you know what I mean.
I love Supernatural so much.
Let's take Bridgerton, for example. It was 8 episodes, right? 4 released a month apart. Why? Because they don't have enough writers to come up with like 20 episode seasons anymore. Like, streaming has come in and impacted original entertainment so much. I think I'm just having to revisit what is already out there. Like, I did a project of mine in December and January where I said I want to watch Academy Award nominated and winning performances of the 90s. Well, I can't find a lot of these things on regular streaming services, so I ended up using Pluto and Tubi and Roku a lot.
The metric is actually, it's interesting to note that Tubi has 50,000 titles, nearly 8 times the estimated number in Netflix's US catalog.
And I think that's what streaming was meant to be for, was a casual browsing of readily accessible entertainment that you could watch without necessarily giving it your entire attention, because you're watching it like while having dinner or doing something else.
Yeah.
It is not meant to be the primary medium with which you consume.
Lean in medium, as Zaslav would say.
Get fucked! You have really triggered me now with that shit. But if we have to use that asinine terminology, then yes. Like, it's your
slide remains my favorite because it was put together by a 5-year-old. The font, the color, you know, the spacing, usage of white space.
You're currently on like a psych rewatch. A lot of people are doing like white collar rewatch on Netflix and stuff. That's like, again, those episodes came out on cable television. And people would just tune in, watch them casually. And now they're just like, oh, they're on in the background. They don't have like intricate plots that connect episode to episode where you're like putting things together, fucking Charlie from It's Always Sunny style. So you're just watching it for fun.
It's interesting. Yeah. So I think what you're saying, like what the advantages have been in big streamers, you're not able to find content that may be of nostalgia or like a value, like Academy Award winners.
I don't even think it's nostalgia. It's just like entertainment value. Things that were solely made for you to experience without worrying about other shit. Like, when the ad is done, press pause and like take care of your stuff.
I don't think ads are bothering anyone, to be honest. At this in this day and age, ads are not.
It seems like the ad block is working pretty well. Don't snitch. No one snitch, but
someone snitched and YouTube is going server side with
the
ads, which is
exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're doing and that's the one bastion of streaming, or like free streaming, quote unquote, that was like relatively untouched. And even Google is like looking at that now and saying,
that ad revenue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, server side ads, I have so much to say about that. That is not gonna go, like, for the user experience. Oof. Good luck with that. Good luck
that's
with
a
getting
separate
metrics
topic
for your ad partners. But I do want to talk about, so you've made a good point, but I also want to talk about, you know, Disney and Netflix launched the ads tier. We did an episode, check it out, on their ads experience and Roku channel's ad experience when we did a deep dive on it. The ad experience on these services, from what I saw, by the way, did not come up as often as what I'm seeing now on Prime Video during my rewatch. So it's been nice. Also, really short ads, good ads, and like really interactive experiences. If I wanted to click on these ads and go to the websites, I could. I didn't find these ads really disruptive, and the ad placement is a big thing for me. In big streamers, especially Amazon, it'll like cut off mid-sentence instead of like waiting for the end of a scene did not notice that here on Tubi, and they're really
No,
dedicated
yeah,
to that.
it's not put at the same timestamp for all content. It's definitely integrated into the flow.
It's
of the
thoughtful,
story.
customized to a piece of content because they know when a scene is ending, so there's like thought behind where the ads are placed, and I don't blame them. Like, I'm getting this for free, guys. Like, what more do I want? You know what I mean?
I also appreciate Freebie sends me like ads that are relevant for me. It's all dog toys and
That's
dog
cute.
food because
They're
I've bought a
watching
lot
you.
of that from Amazon. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm watching like Grizzly Murders Part 5, and there's like a horrible like it's a sting, a violin just goes
I
on a
forgot to
dead
mute
body.
Alexa, so I'm gonna see some ads on like
Oh my god.
side piece content pretty soon on my Prime Video.
No, but like it'll end on that, and then it'll be like happy, like, you know, jingly guitar and whistling, and be like, this dog supplement helps with your dog's coat, keep it shiny, and then it cuts back to like somebody stabbing a corpse, and I'm like, that's me.
Now everything has ads. What's the equalizer? Content quality. So this is what I wanted to bring up. The trust in these big services has really declined. Disney's suffering from really bad Marvel fatigue. There's review bombing
We're
going on.
definitely getting Blade, you guys. Blade is coming. It's gonna be so good.
It's definitely happening. Don't worry. It's definitely happening, guys. Calm down. And Netflix content, I mean, just has been declining for years and years. Just like awful. And what's the third big service? Well, Hulu I like. So
Because it's not flooding the scene with crap.
yeah.
That's, I think, the big
And they're
difference.
integrated with FX, and they get like the ABC content, so they get like linear TV content that keeps people, you know, engaged on the app. And then I have to say, HBO Max, other than I canceled it. There's your testimony. It's been canceled. I don't miss it. Other than hacks, obviously. Other than I guess Warner Brothers catalog, which, you know, I don't want to pay them. I'll just buy the movie. So here's the thing, right? Content quality is declining on these apps, but from what we've seen, content is well thought out on Tubi and Pluto and even Freevee. Jury Duty, like awards darling, obviously, really becoming like a champion in word of mouth as well. Content quality, these people are really going after the UX UI, how people interact with their experience, really establishing their brands, and the content quality is good, is decent. It's keeping you engaged, and it's continuous programming, obviously live TV, and some ads, like 30-second ads right in between, and it's free. What's keeping you from watching this while you're sort of like, oh my god, what bundle am I on now with HBO and Max and Netflix and Apple TV? You know what I mean? The trust in big services is at an all-time low, and this is where these free services are leaning in.
Break them up.
Freemium's coming in, and they're like, this is our time, baby. You know?
This is the new deal FDR wanted for the new century. Break them up. So to wrap up our discussion, I'm gonna just say anecdotally, across the multitude of social media apps, I have been getting a lot of ads for financial applications, things that help you track your expenses, manage your expenses. This to me is a digital harbinger of like the economy, because they're like,
but these apps are also subscriptions, right?
Yeah, of course. Like you have to pay to manage your expenses. But I would say that the first thing you can do again is cut all cords, cut all your recurring expenses. I know we are all addicted to paying rent and utilities. That's just a bad habit that we have. But in terms of services,
delicious rent.
Yeah, like Immortan Joe style. Do not get addicted to paying rent. You will resent it. I think again, just if you're thinking about cutting your services because you're just like not concerned about being left out by cultural zeitgeist, or you're not you're spending way too much time going through choice paralysis, cut it. My recommendation again, find, if you can, I know it's not possible, but if you find non-chain cinemas, independently owned cinemas, go support that.
Here we go again. This is Raven's agenda. She owns an independent movie theater. No, she doesn't.
I don't. You believe me.
Like to. Should we go in?
Believe it.
Should we go into this business?
I oscillate between living in a lighthouse or working at an independent movie theater, but my recommendation again is like, I feel that subscription services, we don't have a lot of these conversations around what to watch anymore. Certainly not for movies. I would say that the Netflix model of making a movie where they throw all the money into getting a recognizable person, filming like 5 things that are cool for the trailer, and then producing bullshit movies, it's not working anymore.
It's true. I think this is, we'll see some like
have you watched Red Notice?
You know,
just say no, because you're like even trying to figure out what that is. According to metrics, and I'm quoting metrics, it's the most watched
remember
movie.
we did an analysis of like summer blockbusters, and I tried so hard to finish.
No, that was Ryan Gosling. This one is actually Ryan Reynolds. Red Notice is Ryan Reynolds.
Wait, no, which one did? No. I tried to watch.
You watched The Gray Man. Yeah.
There's one with Gal Gadot.
Yes, that's
Rock.
Red Notice. Yes.
Okay,
That's Gray Man. See, they all fucking blend together.
Dude, Gray Man was so awful. I didn't finish it either.
Right. So, that's what I'm saying. You're not missing out much from movies. Netflix has just been making great first seasons and then canceling shit, not letting that go through. $18.99. I hate you, Ted. Again, buy those. You're better off with freebies. Like, you're better off with Freemium. You're better off with Tubi and Pluto. And you get access to really good movies that were not made for mass consumption.
So like what is it? Can you get, so let's, these bundles are happening. These streamers have done the password crackdown. So you're either in or out. They've done the ad tier, the paid tier, the ad tier, the ad free tier, and they're bundling. These competitors are coming together, closing ranks, because they know like outside is now, customers don't trust them. Freemium is coming in. Is there a world where you completely avoid the bundle as a consumer that loves entertainment? Let's say I start buying DVDs of lean-in content. I'm so sorry, Raven. I have to use Zaslav's term. Appointment television, appointment movies. I buy those DVDs, and then I just stick to Tubi, Pluto, Freevee. Is there a world that I don't have any of these big streamers and I get by just fine?
Yes. Read books.
Read
a book.
That's our episode today.
Get literate, bitch. No, I mean, you're not going to be left out of any conversation. Do you still see people talking about like Stranger Things or whatever?
Yeah, sign up for a month and watch that.
Even Bridgerton is based on books. So whatever. So you just read books, play video games.
We should start our merch. And we should start full screen merch, and we should have read books, bitches, and then go support independent cinema.
Honestly, like, yeah, take a pottery class. Try growing your own herbs in your apartment.
We swear this is a streaming and tech podcast, but
I think again, it's totally possible to exist in that world. To summarize your question, you can watch things for your own entertainment at your own schedule, which. There is that psychological impact of lowering expectations because you're watching something from the comfort of your own home, where we allowed Netflix to get away with mediocre the first 600 times, but on for the millionth time when we're watching another mediocre thing, we're like, why am I paying for this again? You will not have that question in
Fool me
Freemium.
600 times,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think this is a big moment. If these bundles don't work, which I'm, last episode I put my flag on, like, yeah, I think we'll see more of those bundles, but I'm skeptical that these will work.
Look who's coming around.
I know. With freemium research that I've done in the past 2 weeks.
Because you were talking wild smack when you hadn't seen what the free
I'm
stuff
like, I
was out
disagree.
there. And then you saw what was free and you're like, oh, maybe.
Well, the free shit is good. I didn't realize the free shit is good. You're giving us good shit. And then, you know what? The cord cutters, the term cord cutters started with like, I'm cutting the cord of cable and now going to the Netflix, Disney, like that's what I subscribe to. Now cord cutters term has expanded to, I've cut the cord with Netflix. I'm no longer, like I've cut this subscription. I'm no longer a subscriber for Netflix. I'm no longer a subscriber for Disney. So the cord cutters term has expanded to include these big streamers that are now considered legacy. They've stopped innovating. They've stopped really caring about the customer. They've really they're trying to be ruthlessly profitable. So they're like, hey, what pleases you, advertiser? You know? I think this is a great time for Tubi and Pluto, and I'll keep Freevee a little bit away because it's like Amazon Tide right now. But I think they're both small enough that they don't have to really bow down to advertisers in, say, Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Like, they can keep the content.
Yeah. Or, Jon Stewart knows what you mean.
Yes!
Jon Stewart definitely knows what you mean.
Yeah, listen to Matt Bellamy's interview of The Town, by the way, The Town podcast. Really great episode.
Jon Stewart specifically talks about his experience with Apple and how that went down.
Great perspective coming into, like, he took a break for 9 years, 8 years, and he's seen the world completely change, right? So before streaming and then coming to The Daily Show in a streaming world. Great perspective, great thoughts on AI in the industry as well. So we're gonna keep this freemium topic going for a little bit because it's greatly interesting to us.
Because free is sexy. Free is hot.
Good.
Free is cool.
That bitch is hot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Next time for the freemium theme to keep going, we're doing a corporate corner, our second one, on another Desi gal, Anjali Sood, CEO of Tubi. Hey!
Girl bossing with a freemium product. Like, that's amazing.
I'm so excited about this
That
one.
really appeals to South Asians. Free? Yes. Like, she's nailed it.
Auntie Bela, not listening.
Well.
There's Ted in there, you know.
Yeah, I'm not throwing her under the bus. She's not the one saying stupid ass things about Barbie.
She's trying hard. Yeah, she's trying hard.
Yeah, Anjali Sood, on the other hand, is like, you like the purple and yellow?
Really excited about this one. But that's it for today. Until next time, full screeners. Bye.
Bye.